masculine man needs to know when to come into his feminine to pull his girl out of the fit that she may be in. And a lot of the time,
just hearing those first statements, a masculine man needs to know when to go into his feminine is crazy. His feminine just that's crazy.
what men do, period, is if a woman gets into a tiff, because we have to remember, masculinity keeps track. Oh, I've showed up every day. I told her I loved her yesterday, today, this morning.
My thing is, how do you know if you're supposed to be in your feminine if you're not a female? That would be so insulting to a lot of women. Be like, yeah, I have to just be in my feminine energy. A woman, if you said it to a group of women, they go like, what you know about being a female? So it'd be so crazy when you hear them give advice like that, and then it's just not realistic.
You think you're doing a good job, but that one time you didn't say, I love you on the phone, we're over here like, damn, does he love me? Like, and that's just a natural thing, by the way. People could say, well, she's insecure. You can say whatever you want to say. Why does a baby cry? Why does a dog howl? Why does the sun...
You compared women into a baby, and it's like sometimes I'm listening to these broads, and it's either you really want to, women are the best, and sometimes to defend yourself, you're putting yourself against the lowest of the lows.
There's nothing low about a baby.
I'm sorry, but a full-grown woman is not going to be compared to a baby, all right? A baby that's learning about life, that they can't control their emotions.
I understand what she's saying, though. Like, I'm not on her side at all, but I'm logically hearing what she's saying. She's trying to basically say the nature of a baby is to cry, the nature of a dog is to howl, the nature of a cat is to meow, the nature of a giraffe is to, I don't know, gross hall. I don't know. The nature of a dolphin is to do that little noise, or she's basically talking about the nature. That's basically what she's talking about. I don't know why I went off on a tangent like that.
Ocean can't control their fucking bladder, can't control. No.
I think babies are the greatest.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, shoot. Cool. Anyways, no, you're gonna compare it to a dog that's howling? Like, nah, my girl. You see, take this L. I got it for you. That's not a defense. That's not a. Oof, my God. That's
so
what
now that she's compared herself to a dog, is it okay to call her a bitch?
That's crazy.
Nah, you wildin'.
Well, I'm wildin'?
That's crazy,
Really,
but that makes sense though.
I don't think that's not wild. I'm gonna be honest. She's the one who put herself on.
Fair. But yeah, nah. Sometimes you think you said something, but you really didn't say anything.
Maybe you can't understand it because you just need to get in your feminine and pull her back.
I don't know what the fuck that meant. That meant nothing. Come on now, B. Pull your feminine and talk to your girl. Shut up.
You don't have an argument with your girl. Like, hey, chill, man. She's like, no. She's like, bitch.
How would a man even know how to be feminine? That's like asking a woman to be masculine and she's not a man. It's just like you could try to act like a masculine person, but you're not a man. So you just look goofy trying to really be masculine and trying to, you know, so you look goofy because you're not a man.
You know what I mean? What does that mean?
Hey, yo, I'm gonna need you to put your bitch.
And then people, I can already hear people saying, "Oh, that's just because you're insecure to be feminine." Really, you're talking to me about that shit? Really, me? No, it ain't. It's just it didn't mean anything. Girl. No, I get you. The fuck does that mean? You're not going to. That man, nothing. You said a bunch of nothing.
Why does the sun come up in the east and go down in the west? It's just the way that it is, and we get to emotionally regulate that. But oftentimes, what do men do? Men say, well, why are you so upset? What did I do wrong? Don't you see that I did? Now you're trying to run off the track record, not realizing that femininity lives in the now. How do I feel right now? And if you can't come to say, oh.
Who determines all these definitions on how it is? Look how he looking right now. He looking like, I'm just going to chill out. I'm not even going. It's like he's trying to hide his face expression because he know that's some bull crap.
Oh, damn, baby, you know, you're right. I meant to say that I love you. I don't even.
No. That's some delusional shit right there. That's delusional right there.
Yeah, you know what I think?
I'm sorry.
I think sometimes people are a bit dysfunctional and they attach their dysfunction to different things to make it more valid.
I also think that everybody overcomplicates these topics. It's not that complicated. All you got to do is talk to 5 to 10 older people who've had successful relationships for the past 40 to 50 to 60 years. Whatever they tell you, you take the best of the best from the things that they done told you, see how it applies to yourself, and apply that. It's just that simple. Y'all be overcomplicating stuff. It is not as complicated. Bro, these podcasts, these relationship podcasts have been out for years now, bro. And y'all just keep saying the same things, or if y'all don't say the same things, y'all overcomplicate a very simple concept. It's not that. It's annoying, actually.
C'est
And it's not that complicated.
vraiment ça.
I can't control my anger. You understand femininity as a result of my mood swings from my period.
Check yourself.
Sometimes I'm going to call you a baby back bitch when I get mad. It's like, whoa.
No, regulate yourself. Regulate yourself.
Be accountable, right? It's not reasonable that I tell you I love you every day, and the one time I forget, you have a hissy fit. You can't. You might say, "Hey, you forgot to tell me you love me today," and honestly, it made me feel so. That's fine. That's okay.
A little off topic, but his shirt looked crazy. It looked like he spilled food on his shirt. The only reason I know he didn't spill food on his shirt or some drink or something is because the pattern is consistent that goes across. But that joint looked crazy. Like the fact that that's even a style is just insane. That's crazy.
But throwing a hissy fit because you can't regulate the fact that I didn't say I love you once, but I say it every other day. Of course, I'm going to bring up the fact that I normally say it all the time. It's not reasonable for you to ignore all the good I do and then just hyper focus on this one slight mistake. That's not reasonable.
Hey, yo, but fuck you. When I walked in, you didn't say, hey, welcome to my home, nigga.
Bitch. Oh. Let me get my feminine to bring you back.
That's what sidekicks do. that made no... Pour de vrai?
Yo, fellas, I'm gonna need y'all to get in your feminine next time y'all get in an argument. Your girl just loses.
Yeah!
I'm like, girl.
I don't even know. Girl. What we're not gonna do...
What we're not gonna do.
What we're not gonna do...
Nah,
Listen, no. Regulate your goddamn selves. We're grown-ups here. Like, you have this image of men sometimes that they have, like, you're looking for a father. A father
Man, that's the thing. They just don't understand men. That's where it, yeah. All these relationship podcasts and all these things, really all it really comes down to is they just don't understand men. And they have all these definitions or expectations of men. It's just not realistic. We're humans. We're people. And we're people who try to be as strong as we can to protect and provide for the people that we love the most. And that's really all it is. All you gotta do is just look. Every man was a boy before. And when we were a boy, we had to literally learn how to be a man. It's not like it just happened. You know, certain things happen naturally, like testosterone, which helps with becoming a man. But for the most part, a lot of what being a man is about has been taught to you by either either somebody who's your dad, an uncle, other men who are like role models and things like that. A boy has to watch and observe other men to learn how to be a man, and has to take and once they observe the men, the qualities of the men, they try to have those qualities themselves. And it's actually a process too, because you try to be responsible, you try to have discipline, these types of things, and you fall short. And so you learn over time how to become more mature as a man. So you start off as a man, not as mature, trying to be the best version of a man you can be. And then over time, you just become more and more mature. And I don't think women understand that. Like, when they see a man that's tough, they see a man that's, not easily emotional. When they see a man that's very responsible, very disciplined, these types of things. These things he had to build himself to be like that. And I think women just look at really, really successful or really, really strong or really, really, really disciplined men and think that's how men automatically are. And it's just not true.
It's gonna tell you, yo, stop throwing that fit right there. Yes, daddy. That is cringe. That's super cringe. Regulate your goddamn self. You're a human being. You're an adult, a full grown, but you're going to compare yourself to a baby and a howling dog. Yo, get the fuck out of my face.
And if you can't come to say, oh, damn, baby, you're right. I meant to say that I love you. I don't even, then she can come out of the fit and get away from the wrath and come back into.
The saddest thing about this advice is that women are actually listening to it and thinking that's the expectation they're supposed to have in a relationship that a man is supposed to have for them. actually is the saddest thing about this whole entire thing. Her opinions, you know, she's entitled to have her own opinions. She sounds crazy. She's wrong. She's really wrong. But what makes this dangerous is that a lot of women are gullible enough to listen to her because she's very articulate and she sounds like she's saying some stuff when she's really not. And then they'll bring that to their own relationships and most likely sabotage their own relationships. That's what makes it so crazy.
To flow of,
That's passive aggressive.
no, it's because we're looking at patterns. Why are we looking at patterns? Because we're checking for safety. We are always testing, am I safe here?
Whatever causes
Testing.
you
Yes.
to take the history of peace that I
Testing. You heard that? She said they're always testing. That right there is crazy. Which they do. They do that. But it's like, once I perceive that I'm being tested, like, I hate that. Because now you're being manipulative. Stop that. Just be straight up with me. Just be straight up with me.
I've given you
All right?
from whatever
All right?
time, right? Obviously, if I'm your man at this point, we've got at least 7, 8, 9 seasons of qualifications
Yes.
that made me a person that you could lead with.
Yes.
And because one spike or decrease in femininity makes you all of a sudden question your security,
Yes.
then maybe you didn't feel safe here.
No, that's
or you
not
have
the
well, you
truth.
have your own work to do.
See,
but
you're
what
speaking
I'm
logically.
supposed to do
She said, "You're speaking logically." I can already tell where this is going.
But that's not us. Then, you know, learn how to.
And that should be the only way to really think about that logically, because that's the best route to go, logically.
Do it. That's stupid.
You're speaking logically. It's like when someone tells you what happened to them. Like, okay, I get you're telling the truth.
Yeah, I
But
understand.
can we focus on the lies?
2 + 2 does equal 4, but you know, in my head, it equals blue.
Listen, you're talking about reality. Can we get back to fiction, please?
Yes. What you're saying is makes perfect sense. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, Luke Skywalker. Fuck out of here.
Let's go.
What do you?
She's saying logically like it's a bad thing.
I'm supposed to do as a man is be like, you know what, babe? I understand.
This is exactly why
It's
men and
okay.
women fight, because you're going to logic and she naturally goes to emotion. What you're saying makes sense, okay?
course it does.
Everything that you're saying makes sense
Thank you.
logically,
Right.
but emotionally it doesn't make sense.
That's not.
So how can you explain emotions? Emotions is so subjective. Emotions are like, logic is always 1 + 1 = 2. Emotions for this person, that 5 people can add up 1 + 1 and it's going to equal 2, or 5 people can add up 2 + 2 is going to equal 4, right? You can take 5 people who are emotionally trying to analyze something, and they'll all have different perspectives emotionally on it. There's no book, there's no blueprint on how to navigate that. You know what I'm saying? How to, like, every emotion is different of a woman, and not only that, every woman is different with their emotions. But even with the one woman, her emotions this day may be different than her emotions for that particular thing that she's mad about. Can have a different perspective every single time because emotions are unpredictable. That's the point I'm trying to make. Took me. It was difficult trying to explain that because it's emotion. I'm trying to explain emotions, and it's hard trying to explain that.
Not
Even
true. That is not even true. Like, don't try to think that emotions are always sometimes.
I was going to say the same line. I was going to say, don't think that emotions are always valid.
Or no, that's not what I was about to say. Don't think that emotion is always some erratic fucking shit that has no logic and is untamed and it's not always that. You can have emotion and logical emotions. You don't have to be, it's my emotion, I'm living them. Ah! That's not
No,
what
you can have. I don't agree. You can have emotions and logically assess what you're emotionally going through and being like, okay, logically, I can observe my emotions and can tell I'm tripping, and I'm not gonna let my emotions make me crash out or make me act crazy. I might feel like crashing out, but logically, I know that's not the best thing to do. So I'm going to make a decision to just chill out. And I think that's probably what he's trying to say. But yeah.
what emotions are. Sometimes there's logic in your emotions. Don't stop acting like it's two separate, different things. logic and emotions. If you're smart enough, you can put some logic in your emotions and some emotion in your logic. There could be a balance. You could be pissed off at someone and it's logical because of the whole context of what the hell happened. There's emotion, but there's logic. It's not always like fucking erratic. I'm emotional right
I mean, he has a good point.
now. No, put some logic.
This type of advice is just it's annoying that. I mean, how many times do you have to? Women just hear these things over and over again, and they be like, "Yeah, sister, yeah," and it's like, okay, I don't care what you think, but then when you bring that to your relationships, then that's when it just gets like, come on now, you gonna listen to this woman who not making any sense. She just uses a lot of words. She's very articulate in her ability to express the English language, but she's not. The stuff that she's saying doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't make sense. She's trying to logically, think about this. She's trying to logically explain to us on how to deal with a woman. Then when a man gets logical with her, she says, you're thinking too logically. You need to understand that from an emotional perspective. You really can't explain emotions. It's emotions. We know emotions are angry, happy, sad, mad, whatever. But you can't explain. Emotions are so nuanced or so personal. Logic isn't. Logic, anybody can read a book or anybody can do math and it's going to be the same for every single person. Emotions are very... I don't know how to explain it. It's more complicated. Put it that way.